Poptastic Nation, we are so excited to be here tonight. We're super excited. Everybody, thank you for chiming in to the Be Poptastic podcast. Today, we're doing something much different. We're Xing out the cigars. We're Xing out the scotch. Yeah. We're going to a healthy way of living our lives.
Yeah. And thanks for all the feedback.
Yes.
We're talking about how do we be more productive, how do we do all that stuff, and I'm talking about, I need to be healthy, I need to go to the gym, I gotta eat right and all that stuff because it helps all of that. And then, Chris came to me, he was like, oh, Mike, if we want to be healthy and we want to tell the kids and stuff like that, and we can't really be drinking scotch and smoking cigars. And I'm like, dude, I was about to say the same thing to you. So our minds were on the same wavelength.
We were aligned.
Totally.
Totally. It was perfect because that was a thought. Mike was kind of thinking the same thing. So it was kind of cool just sharing it because, mind you, when we started this podcast, that's what it was about. Hey, Absolutely. Man, we're going to enjoy some scotch, have a cigar, right? And naturally, we realized that although we enjoy those things to a certain point, that's really not our lifestyle. We're not doing that every day. We only do it probably for the podcast. Basically, that's not really portraying the image that we want, and that's really not giving you all the results that we're truly getting and trying to be productive and be positive and optimistic. So ultimately, we don't do that on our day-to-day. So it makes no sense to highlight or glorify the scotch or a cigar.
Yeah.
Although it can be cool to indulge in it from time to time, but honestly, that's something that we don't do every day. You know?
And if we're making a podcast and the only time you see us is when we're doing that, it's really, a small part. And, I've been doing all of this work.
Yep.
Really getting my sleep down and all that so I can be more productive. I've been going to the gym for about 6 weeks now.
Exactly.
And, now that has become a habit. Now it's about really focusing on my diet and health. So I'm going to go through a 28-day detox. Not a cleanse, it's a detox. So eating clean and that sort of thing. Creating another habit.
Yep.
For the next 30 days, and but really the reason why I'm doing all that is so I can be more productive.
Right? And some of the things, and mind you, a lot of the things that we put in our bodies affect a lot of our output, right?
Yes.
Some of the food that we eat. So Mike was talking and how he goes to the gym and he's doing his detox. Prior to this, for about 2 weeks, I was doing a fast. I cut out red meat, fast food, and sweets. I feel amazing. Now, mind you, the fast is over. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not having strong cravings to go back to start putting it back in my body.
Yeah.
So it's just being mindful. So this podcast today, we're just basically letting you all know, pushing forward. We're going to switch some things, and that's the plus side about the podcast and things that we're doing, right?
Yeah.
We want to most definitely lead by example. We know that there's a lot of people that sees us on a day-to-day basis on a regular. So if we're going to portray anything, we want to portray the things that we truly represent.
Absolutely.
So we're going to give you all feedback. If we're going to give you all tips on how to be more productive and positive and optimistic, if we're going to give you these tips and we're telling you we're implementing different things in our lives, we want to make sure that we're highlighting and glorifying the things that's really getting us our results that you see us. So for the most part, we both agreed. I know we never really discussed in the past, but I juice a lot of my fruits and vegetables every day, So I had to kind of think man, does it make sense to put all the negative stuff back in our body?
Yeah.
We're doing healthy stuff 6 days out of the week, And we actually watched a video about a sleep study, but basically it was saying that in order to change your mindset, health is important too.
Absolutely.
And if health is important, then you need to change your mindset. and that it resonated. It spoke volume, especially to Mike, because Mike shared the video with me. But it made sense. It was like, man, we're talking about changing mindset, right? We're talking about being pop-tastic, which you gotta have the pop and the tastic before you can be pop-tastic, right? And that's being positive, optimistic, and productive. And when you think about those things, right, that goes into a mindset. It goes into health, right? But ultimately, if we're going to really preach that, we want to live by what we're preaching. So this podcast here is just to let everybody know that we will no longer be enjoying scotch and cigars, especially on our podcast. I mean, because that's something that, if we're going to do it, it can be on our downtime. It's not saying that, hey, for those that do that, hey, it's perfectly fine. But we're not going to glorify scotch and cigars.
And the other thing about it is, we're really trying to, we're on this journey, right? We're going on this journey, and, we're trying to make a new, like I want to lose weight. I want to, you guys saw podcast episode 6 where we talk about Ed Milet. He does 3 6-hour. He does 3 days of work in one day. I'm about doing. I could do about 2 days of work in one day.
Yeah.
I don't know about doing 3.
Almost. It's time. It's time.
I could maybe do a little bit over 2, but it's really about creating. It's making a new me.
Yeah. So what's happening is, for everybody that's watching, even us, because we're human, right? We're human. We're regular people that's trying to accomplish our goals, our dreams in this lifetime. We're trying to become the best us that we can be. The best. We want you to become the best you. Mike wants to become the best version of Mike. I want to become the best version of Chris. And so basically, becoming that best version is discipline, and cutting some of the things out, and being able to look at that big picture, to see what does that best version of ourselves really look like.
Yeah, and I was looking at, coming in here and it's like, all right, we're doing the podcast, and because the podcast is about cigars and scotch. It's
hold on, but not to cut you off, and mind you, I'm happy everybody is watching this right now, because as we sit back and as you just said something, right? Mike just said the podcast was about cigars and scotch. We incorporated that, but the podcast was never really about it.
It's not,
right? And that's
we glorified it.
We glorified it, right? So, and that's the plus side to where when we're able to identify things and pick up and say, what purpose did the scotch and the cigars have in our podcast long term? Because ultimately, we're trying to help people change their mindset, get to their goals, right?
Yeah.
Create new habits, for their lives. So it's like ultimately, we were just indulging, in that, but ultimately, it wasn't about that. So it's like, okay, when you're building something up, you can kind of cut loose the fat that means us no good, right?
Yeah.
And that way we can get straight to the meat of things, right? And the meat of things is being pop-tastic, being positive, optimistic, and productive. That's the meat of this podcast, right?
Absolutely.
The key. How can we're giving you all some of the keys to success that we've identified thus far. So now that we're here, it's like, man, let's get to the meat of things, and let's stay focused, right? And let's focus on becoming the best people that we can possibly become in this lifetime. And how can we do that? So here it is. We're disciplining ourselves. We're stripping ourselves. We're coming live, and we're telling you that, hey, you know what? We're cutting the cigars and scotch out, because ultimately 6 days out the week, we're not doing cigars and scotch. Man, we're really hustling and bustling and trying to get our bodies fit. We're trying to get our minds mentally on the right track. So these are the things that we're doing. So we don't want to give you the wrong illusion of things, especially as you see us with our success, because ultimately the scotch and the cigars won't be the outcome of our success. It won't really be
Yeah.
a contributing factor to us becoming successful in our lives and our journeys. So naturally, we're just cutting it off and we're letting you know that, hey, we're done with it. We want to be the best role models that's out there. We want to really give you the realness of us. So here you are today, Poptastic Nation. We're here. We're coming to you. We're letting you know that we're done with the scotch and cigars. And we're really, at this point, what's going to happen is we're going to expose ourselves more to you, right?
Yeah.
Because I told Mike, I said, you know what, Mike, how about we incorporate me juicing, because that's something that I do. So, for those of you that kind of say, man, how are you always so energized, man, there's certain things that I do to kind of keep my day going.
Yeah.
There's certain things that I do put in my body health-wise, right? To kind of keep me going, right? And I enjoy it. And that's some of the stuff that should really be glorified, right?
Absolutely.
When you're really sitting back and you're looking at, this podcast and you're seeing us and our success. It's ultimately, we want to be successful in every area of our life, right? Spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally, right? Every area of our lives, we want to give you the best, and we want to make sure that we're showing you what we're truly doing in order to get the success in those different areas.
Absolutely. So, take a look right now at our new intro and let us know what you think about it. So, right now we're going to let it roll. So, have a Poptastic day.
Stay Poptastic, be Poptastic, Poptastic Nation!
The Be Poptastic podcast. So happy, so excited, so honored to have you joining with us. On today, I'm going to show you all what I do to be more productive, to be more positive, to be more optimistic, and it all comes down and boils down to what are you putting in your body. And me personally, I like to juice, so welcome to the Juicinator and welcome to the Be Poptastic podcast.